Namaste to you all, gang. Spirit in me acknowledges the spirit in you. This is Adam from Unthink Me, and this is yet another comments answered video. The policy that I'm doing right now, I want to be real clear. When I thumb you up, that means eventually you'll see a video response. That's what I'm trying to do. So hopefully that makes sense. I've said it in a lot of videos. If I give you the heart, that just means I saw your comment and it's not something I can really respond to. It's usually like, hey, great job, or like, oh, I relate to this, you know. So I didn't want to bog you down with all those. But if there's like a question or something that I feel like could use a little discussion, that's what we're doing here. I used to do it in writing, and I just decided that this is a better way. Like I get content out of it. They get about 100 views. That's sort of the core solid viewers right now. And that's who I'm talking to now. So you know me at this point, and generally if you don't know me, you're probably not watching these kind of deep cut videos. So this is where I'm going to do a little bit of the housekeeping stuff as well. And I just want everybody to know, like, I'm doing great, everything's great, but time is an issue. I've done a lot of kind of experimental stuff that doesn't work that well. Well, good, this is how you learn. Dance Dance Revolution, what's the appeal? It's great for me for exercising. I got into it about 10 years after it was popular. That's my mat right there. I just love it. And here's what's the deal. It's an accurate controller. I operate the controller with my feet. If I hit the button on time, I get points. I can beat my own high scores still. It's not over. I can keep playing the game forever. I can always get better scores, and that gets me more athletic and more in shape, and it helps with my longevity and heart health. I haven't had that sort of rhythm with much else. I do enjoy bike riding and hiking, but this DDR, because it keeps score, because it is a game, it keeps me motivated to continue doing it for a really long time, and to the point where I'm losing like tens and tens of pounds doing that, which in my case, when I was a little more overweight, that was really valuable. And this is to get into a topic to monetize or not to monetize the channel. I've gone and I've gotten real personal with you here. I've talked about my struggles with career and with relationships. Those videos are coming out little by little. It starts with my mother died on my birthday video, and then goes into the abundance mentality video. And now we're going to have a series called Surreal Love, where I talk about my relationship history, and hopefully that's to set a foundation upon which to legitimize the discussion moving forward for how to heal from trauma, how to have positive relationships, how to feel good about yourself, how to approach life with an awake, aware, active, engaged mentality, which if you get nothing else out of second tier, I think that is the hook to being second tier, is to really taking ownership of your experience of life and making choices for how you perceive reality and want to engage with it, to go out on your own in a bold and highly personal way, and to make your relationship with society and culture and yourself a very real and very authentic relationship where you hold nothing back. That's been my keyword for approaching a year. Just stop holding yourself back. Stop holding back with others. People want you here. People want you to be saying what you believe you should be saying. Enough people do that it's worth doing, and it's for me, it's the most noble pursuit that I can engage with. And so I don't know how many videos this has appeared in. It could be 10, it could be 0, because we have had to scrap a lot of them where we discuss this due to AV and logistical issues. I had for a while been saying I was not planning on monetizing my videos with ads because I don't want to inflict that on you. But then I got to thinking about it. It's like, in order to afford to do this, I have to work. And I don't have any opportunities right now to work for Teal or Turquoise organizations. I don't have any opportunities to work with things that are Unthink Me powered and, have that sort of energy that is real and authentic to me, second tier. So, one way or another, Chrysler is paying my paycheck. Jeff Bezos is taking a little bit of my money, and I'm keeping the rest in order to survive, in order to eat cashews and pistachios and eggs live from chickens and cook them up on my camp stove over there. So I'm living a pretty lightweight lifestyle, all in service of creating Unthink Me content, creating a website, creating a community. This is what I'm doing with my life as a hobbyist and as someone who is doing work that isn't really worthy of getting paid yet in a way that I really approve of. Thus, it makes sense for me to gamify this process, to see numbers growing and to respond to those numbers and to try and jack up my high scores and speedrun getting better at it. Without that, I wouldn't say I'm demotivated by it as much as I'm motivated to do other things that will ensure my safety and that I can go see a dentist when I have a toothache and that I have an operational computer and car and everything, is okay. I don't need to be comfortable and luxurious. I'm just saying when I'm reaching zero because I'm making free content, that's a wonderful, beautiful thing that I believe I'm doing. But at this point, I think that it's more worth it for me to actually be making income off of it, even if it's not exactly how I want to. Now, that being said, if I do start making money on this, and I will respond to that quite a bit, I have every intention of doing like placements for legitimate teal companies. But to get started with this, I'm just monetizing with ads. That's what's up. And I said that I wouldn't do that, but I also said that I wasn't sure yet. And this is why. I don't know how my operating system responds to a long period of seeing nothing come of it in terms of, seeing a viable, sustainable future for myself. Everyone I'm working with is behind this notion that to do this right now makes sense. And it didn't make sense for a minute, and now it makes sense, and hopefully one day it won't make sense anymore. And hopefully all of the organizations that Unthink Me works with will be reflective of higher stages of consciousness. But I don't get to make that choice. And in order to reach you in the first place, I'm putting my videos on YouTube, which is already a giant corporate enterprise. And the only way I can really ever receive payment otherwise is through some platform that, again, is the 1%. And I just am not at a skill level with regard to anything where I have a choice not to do that. And so I'm either going out and making a paycheck from one corporate entity, robber baron that owns everything in America, or I'm doing that on YouTube. And to me, it feels more real if I'm doing it on YouTube. It feels like I'm closer to what I'm trying to attain that way. So I ask your forgiveness. I am but a mere mortal, and I have healthy orange meme in me that wants to feel like this could be a sustainable enterprise at some point. I also have very healthy green in me that hates that I have to do that and wants to actually make changes in the world so that it feels less like that. But the platforms I'm working with are hardcore orange, hardcore green, and usually green in negative ways, not healthy, and usually pretty healthy orange. I see these software companies as pretty healthy orange. That's just my opinion. I want to get political. I want to get personal. I want to go a lot of directions, but I'm also responding to feedback. I'm responding to what people click on, what people like, what's causing engagement, what's attracting people to the community. Those are the primary goals: teaching integral theory, building integral community. Those are my primary goals. In order to do that, I really feel like I'm at a point where this needs to become more economically justifiable, where I have to feel like that in 2 years of doing this, I'm going to start seeing dollar signs. Then it will be more justifiable for me to act more professionally, to use more professional equipment. So 100% of that, enjoy those ads that are going to start rolling on my videos. I've been partnered for a long time. I'm going to start monetizing with ads. Love those ads, and know that that is giving me a fraction of a penny to create content with, and that it's my pleasure to do this, and I just feel like I could do it quicker and better and more professionally, and you'll enjoy it more if I am making money from doing it. I had experimented with ideas of going completely around any of these sort of platforms or mechanisms, giving no tribute or pay to the 1%. But really, when you get right down to it, that means getting off of YouTube, and that means getting off of Google, doesn't it? Like, what the heck can you even do on the internet without engaging with these corporations? Well, the green meme in me sees that as a problem and wants to help with that. But I need to be someone first. I need to be an integral theory teacher with some sort of credibility on the internet. So I'm approaching that in the way that makes the most sense to me, and I hope you'll bear with me as I experiment with that, and I take some wrong turns. I make some content that flops. But I hope that you'll appreciate that what I'm doing is fairly experimental in nature, and I'm trying things that are pretty rare out here. Just looking at the last couple of things I've done. I hope you'll start seeing that. So I'm going with Orange Meme right now, building it from an Amber Meme ideological community of membership to something that hopefully can make money and where I can begin to network and utilize the strengths of other people in more meaningful ways, in ways that feel rewarding to us in the same way that our day jobs feel rewarding to us, to the point where spending our time in this way is not only justifiable, but it makes more sense than spending our time making money the conventional way. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope it doesn't feel like a cop-out. It's something that I put a lot of thought and feeling into, and I just feel like Homath's over there monetizing everything. You know, everybody's monetizing. I deserve a cut too, as long as that exists. Because YouTube is changing rapidly. This might not exist very long. I'm kind of bad at grabbing things by the reins when they're happening. So bear with me as I make this decision. It's a hard decision. I am hurting financially. That's where I'm hurting. If you're wondering about me, because people ask about me, I'm doing great emotionally. I've never felt so alive and engaged and happy and content and peaceful and spiritual and awake as I feel now. However, financially, I am at an age and in a situation where it's like, oof, you better start figuring things out. Like, things are getting shady, things are getting tough. And I have to rely on people quite a lot, which I'm okay with. I don't mind relying on people driving me around, people providing me with spaces to do this recording, right? And why isn't this a live stream? Because that where it worked. It's not a live stream because I don't have internet here. The internet sucks here. I can't do a live stream here. I could go to my workplace and do it there. I've done that in the past. I can go to another house and do it there. But what I'm saying is I'm really constrained by these logistical things. I want to get to a point quicker where I can do this professionally, in a more professional way, with lighting, with a backdrop, without it just being like, bullshit, let's go, because I need to make something because I have to get this out. I want to get out of that phase and actually be able to plan and structure things and make them work. So welcome to my comments answered video. Every comment that I thumbed up that I haven't answered before is getting an answer here. I got them all on a spreadsheet in front of me. And I'm doing the housekeeping stuff up front. It was important for me to talk about monetization. People have been emailing me and inviting me to do collabs with them. So I just did one of those with Samuel Hoskins. That's his YouTube name and his real name. Check him out. He's a beautiful young man, makes paintings and time lapses them and talks about philosophy over them. And so we went into a deep dive on his process and how he mixes his own paints and the spiritual nature of what artists do. Total stranger reached out to me through YouTube. So I've gotten a couple of those, and you're going to start seeing those collabs, which I'm really excited to share with you. Generally, the people I'm collaborating with are my support structure. They're my personal friends and people who are interested in integral theory and people who are interested in making content with me. And that's who we've got so far. It was just me, and then it was me and my friends, and then it was me and my friends in my Discord community. And now there's like this whole other thing where other YouTubers are getting involved with what we're doing. So to me, that feels like growth and that feels like evolution. And I'm extremely proud to have made a collab with Samuel Hoskins and the other one I'm planning to do next week. That will be released on his channel. So I will be making a short like preview introduction to it and sending you off to go check that out there. And I hope you enjoy his channel. He's awesome. His material's awesome. And I look forward to working with him more in the future. And I apologize that the way I'm handling comments keeps changing. I'm a work in progress. This is second tier. This is evolutionary in nature. It will continue to evolve. I don't know how, if I do well, I'll get more comments than I can handle in this way. But right now, I'm getting just the right amount where every couple of weeks I can do a comments answered video and it can be enjoyable for you. I hope. I don't even realistically believe that the original person who commented ever watches these videos, but it's more to say like your comments are reflective of general sentiments of people watching these videos. So I really think these are very valuable videos to be watching because this is just me in my own voice with no preparation talking about the material I've made and your response to it. If these aren't the videos that people watch, I'm glad anyways that there's a big kind of archive on my channel for people who are wanting to deep dive and get really interested in the deep lore of what Unthink Me is all about, what integral theory is all about, how it actually applies to your actual real life, not just as an idea, but this is stuff to be lived. This is stuff this is growing you up, waking you up, cleaning you up. as you practice it, as you bring it into your life and your community. You can watch these videos and it can exist in its own little sandbox. But what I'm really trying to encourage people to do is what I'm doing, which is bringing integral into my life, asking myself, with everything that I know, with everything I've gone through, with everybody I've been and everything I've done, am I now at a point realistically where I can actually live a second tier lifestyle, at least, and actually express second tier in my actual life? That to me is the question that you, the protagonist of the story, should be asking yourself. That's what I'm trying to encourage here, that we're all in this together, we're all people, and I'm offering you a perspective that differs from the orange meme, amber meme perspectives, the first tier perspectives that you're mostly engaging with. I see what I'm doing as very positive and very growth oriented. And so it is to me an act of love, interpersonally, between you and I, to whatever extent you engage with me. Even if it's kind of negative on one end or the other, that's fine with me. The engagement itself is proof that this is working and that this is real. It's been overwhelmingly positive, and that just, great. Well, I can work with that really, really well. But if you want to cut at me a little more, if you want to challenge me, if you want to push back on some of the material I'm making and why I do what I do, I'm open to that, and I want that. And I am more than happy to engage with negativity. I'm not afraid of it. This is my superpower, that I've been robbed of my dignity in life enough times that I don't need you to feel any particular way. And I'm not holding myself back from being real and legit with the public, or with the chosen public of people who are interested in consciousness evolution. So I began a series of talks about my own personal life and my own personal story. That isn't what Unthink Me's about. It's a piece of the puzzle. It's because I'm here talking to you about this, I want to explain to you why. And so I started out with a video called My Mom Died on My 18th Birthday, and that, not as like clickbait, although I hope it is. I hope people are curious about that, and I hope people who are going through grief that it'll be helpful for them to feel that, you know, I get you. I know what that feels like. And maybe I don't even know what you've been through. Maybe what you've been through is far worse than what I've been through. But almost all of us have something of that nature in our shadow. And I want to just pull it out and say, this is my shadow. This is what I'm dealing with, that I have attachment issues, that I'm still learning halfway through my life how to be a person, or not be a person, and making those choices. And that I'm not finished, and Unthink Me isn't finished. This is the tone of the channel, is that you're coming with me on this ride, that I'm not an authority saying who's trying to train you to be more like me, that we are together learning how to coordinate in a second tier fashion. And this as a response, a positive response to the first tier issues that we're encountering, to the pain and struggle of outdated worldviews and organizational systems. And that these systems are quite self-evidently harmful. We know this. That's why I instantiate it so viscerally in my presentations, okay? My mom died on my birthday, age 306. It is amazing how understanding you are, even with things like betrayal. I think it's inspiring. Well, thank you. Betrayal and grief, yeah. Betrayal's a weird word. I'm trying not. I don't want to be a victim, and I don't want to portray myself as someone needing sympathy or support in that sense. Like, that's not my goal here. But yeah, I've been betrayed for sure. Like, I would characterize it as such at many levels. And you know, this video was to open the can on that, on how to make lemonade. In my expression in thinking, feeling, and doing of second tier, it is to be understanding, to understand life is abundant, to understand all things are relative, that my suffering can't even hold a candle to a lot of the suffering that's out there, but also that it is my suffering, that it is special and valuable and deep, and it hurts, you know, even though I'm not as disadvantaged or hurt as someone else, that we all carry this pathos and we all have our motives. And I appreciate that if that is leading people to feel inspired to be that way about their own trauma, because I think that's what to do with trauma, is to use it as fuel, to weaponize it, to become a hero, to fight against your direct experiences of things that you find not to be true or beautiful or integrity, right? Mark Tolver, same video. That is really tragic. I don't know, though. If I had a kid, which I don't, and I died in an accident on their birthday, I'd still want them to celebrate their birthday and raise a glass to me and say, "Here's to you, Dad. I hope you're looking down and celebrating this with me." It's always hard losing a parent at any age. I lost my dad a year and a half ago, and there's always just a melancholic wave that washes through me whenever he pops into my head for whatever reason. And I just think, oh, Dad, I wish you were still here. To anyone who reads this who's lost a parent, yeah, it sucks. We always keep them in our hearts, though. Absolutely. I hope to be able to integrate these feelings to the point where it is pure celebration. It is pure respecting the love and the light that came out of that relationship. Maybe I expressed too much how much of an axe to grind it kind of created for me. I appreciate you sharing, your own trauma and your own pathos. Yeah, I agree with you. I think my mom wants me to celebrate, wants me to be happy and to treasure the times that we did spend together and the memories that I do have, and to not focus a whole lot on the fact that she's not here with me now to experience things now, and to be here with me seeing what I've become and what I've done with my time, or even in a sort of magical sort of way for me to feel in my heart that she is here with me and that she is sort of watching me and what I do. Like that's a beautiful feeling to have, and I don't think it's wrong to feel that way, even though it might not be like logically, scientifically true. I think it does good things for your heart to believe in ancestors and that we're being watched over and that the things that we do matter. On that day, on January 6th, I do feel like I miss her. I do feel the loss of it and the grief of it still, even decades later. It does hit me, it does. I do feel the feels, and that becomes the nature of the day. And I don't want to party, and I don't want to drink, and I don't want to go out and blow, that's not really what I feel like. And I also don't necessarily feel like explaining it at the time. So I made a video to kind of explain this sense that holidays bum me out for these reasons. So I can see both sides of that, definitely. And I really appreciate people responding to my more vulnerable moments that I'm doing these days on my channel. So these comments are coming from the abundance mentality video. That's the follow-up. I talk about how relationship struggles fuel me, and that every time something breaks you or shatters your self-esteem or humiliates you, or even pain, physical and emotional pain, abuse, trauma, betrayal, however you want to conceptualize it, all of these things are opportunities, and all of these are generating a hero myth for you. They're giving you a conflict to fight against in the story of your life. And so it wouldn't be fair for me to ask that of you without me sharing some of my pathos with you, and some of my flaws and some of my serious, baggage, because we're really trying to clean that up. We're trying to make that just matter of fact, that this is what happens and this is what I'm going to do about it. So I have at Rap Food 3875, and we're talking abundance mentality. How are you, Adam? You look drained and just need a break from some things. No, I appreciate your concern. I'm as well as I've ever been in my life. I promise you that. I'm in good physical health. I'm in excellent mental health. I'm more capable of vulnerability and genuine connection than I've ever been. And those are things that I really value. And I'm being a person that I've always wanted to be, honestly, in my own opinion. And there's no substitute for that. What you're probably responding to is the lack of professionalism, that I don't light myself properly. I just crawled out of bed. I wasn't cleaned up. I wasn't all decked out. And so I kind of look sick, but it's just, that's the smoke and mirrors of this whole bullshit that we're doing, is that I don't look beautiful when I crawl out of bed. I have bags under my eyes and my hair is messy and I'm in my pajamas. And that doesn't mean I'm sick or that I'm overwhelmed or frustrated or burnt out. It means that I'm getting comfortable being around you. I do want to be more professional, I promise. I was in a hypnagogic state, like I said in the video, and I had all these ideas coming out. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to film it. I'm just going to do it now because this is really raw and vulnerable stuff that it's hard to talk about in front of a camera all alone. It's hard to hit every base. It's hard to get in the mood to do it. You don't always want to revisit trauma and revisit these negative narratives that you've been afflicted with for decades. You know, you don't always want to go straight back there to the source. So when I'm in a moment where I feel like I'm capable of that, I just, boom, let's go for it, let's rock. That was the tone of these 2 videos, and you'll see I'm going to continue on in that with the Surreal Love series. You know, if you don't like it, and if you don't like this, I'll see that, and I'll stop doing this, and I'll keep doing the videos that do work. But I'm still experimenting, and I'm still curious to see how personal I can get with you. This is rather personal in those videos. Okay. So, Rat Food, I appreciate you, and I hope you're doing well, too. I am doing well. I did hit a low, which is unrelated. You didn't see me in that state. When I went to Oregon, there was a strange thing where I was absolutely elated. I was in tears and love on the flight over, and there was this linear, gradual decline throughout the 2 weeks I was there. And Spencer was there with me, and we have been doing a lot of detective work trying to figure it out. Like, I've been on an absolute high since the story you're going to hear about Celesta, about her leaving me for another man and me feeling utterly emasculated and humiliated and hurt and confused and just trying to figure out exactly how to pick up the pieces of myself and my world and my goals and move forward with my life. That's my truth. And the point I make in those videos is that I'm making lemonade. I'm fighting fire with marshmallows, as the Flaming Lips say. I have this capacity for some reason when these things happen. It energizes me and it gives me powers. And it sets me free of a lot of the things holding me back. That's how I choose to respond to these things. So that's what I'm doing. When I went to Portland to make content and I failed to make content and I wasted a lot of time and I felt bad, I got worse and worse and worse until I was like at my low. Well, I managed to get out of that, and I figured out what was causing it, and I figured out how to get out of it and why that cycle has in the past led me to months or even years of being in a negative or dark place, feeling imprisoned, feeling like nobody wants me, feeling like nobody wants me in the sense of career and relationships, and for me to be genuine and real, for me to share my beliefs, or I don't really have beliefs, but to share integral theory with you, which is kind of my set of lenses for perceiving the world. Not mine, but the set of lenses that works for me, as opposed to like religion or strict scientism or, you know, cultural critique and commentary and deconstruction. The second tier perspective is my tool. It's my weapon. This is how I approach problem solving. And I want to share that with you, and I want to share a lot of things with you. And it's my pleasure. I love being here, and I love that you're responding to it, okay? Opening your heart to others, being genuine and honest is its own gift and its own reward. I have a really honest and open and loving relationship with myself, but sometimes it's hard for me to share that with others and trust that it will be reciprocated. It's hard for me to be leadership, to act in a leadership sort of way where I'm guiding the dialogue, I'm chaperoning us into awakening or growing up. That's all new to me. I'm not even used to people taking me seriously and not just like treating me like a virus, okay? So really healthy in here, self-esteem, positivity, confidence, just getting the hang of trusting people in a new way, in a deeper way, and in a way where we can navigate the elephant in the room, where we can talk about our pathos without being scared off from doing that or being shut down, and learning who to trust and when to trust and how pushy exactly you need to be in order to get your point across. The real bummer thing is I want to share so much with you, not my personal story, that's part of it, but so many different angles and ideas and theories, and just the integral theory thing is this huge, huge undertaking. I'm not even close to done doing that. But I do want to start introducing other dimensions and angles to this whole thing. So far, it's been worth it in a way that nothing else has felt in a long time for me. And that's my guiding light. That's my star right now. And I think that in your life, if you want to listen to me and what should I do with my life? It's follow that thing that you know is the thing you would do if you weren't holding back. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm doing. It might not look like that to you because everybody's so different and everybody's challenges and strengths and weaknesses are so different. But I'm trying to leverage my superpowers to create something that is engaging and entertaining and funny, but also that improves your life and our culture and our world. That's really honestly what I'm trying to do. Second comment on that one. Tintin70, abundance mentality. We love you too, Yoga Adam. Thank you. So again, Yoga Adam is the person that I was when I was with Celesta. I was very powered and energized, and that relationship made me very confident. And this person, Celesta, was very generous and loving with me and opened up new sides of me, things that I hadn't felt comfortable expressing with another person or with the world. And so this was an extremely valuable relationship to me. And during that time, I considered myself Yoga Adam because she opened up a yoga school, and I was trying to insinuate myself into that. And I was trying to be more and more a yoga guy. And I cleaned up in a lot of really important ways. And I got to see that perspective on myself that I can be Yoga Adam. So when that disappeared from my life, I then wasn't Yoga Adam anymore. And I don't like that this person, Celesta, was capable of taking that from me. So I've been trying to reintegrate that person and allow those feelings back into my heart where I can have that sort of motive and energy to be Yoga Adam, at least Yoga Adam, because I believe in yoga. I believe in the precepts and the philosophy of it. And when I say I believe in it, I just mean as far as kind of systems of body, mind, centauric approaches to life, yoga offers so many things that are often neglected. It's not just a class you take where you stretch. There's a lot to it. And the stretching is a big part of it. The doing poses is a big part of it. The mythological significance, the magical significance, but it's also highly rational, and it's also very relevant to our time, yoga. I hope to teach yoga here. Truly. I did one goofy video where it was like pseudo yoga. That was just something where it was like, again, throw up the camera and go. Yes, that is the person that I'm trying to reintegrate. And I can't say to you honestly that I'm 100% there, but I can say that I'm making progress every day, and I'm opening myself in new ways every day, and I'm doing work every day. I can promise you that. Zimmy M says, I do enjoy this video style. Thank you. This helped me so much and touched on so many things I have on my mind, from family relations to substance use and abuse. I physically felt my mindset improve by watching this. I think I mean to say that it has helped me look at myself and my situation in such a way that my ego no longer tenses me up due to the accumulated stress. Also, I can affirm your experience of substantially less dream memory under heavy, daily, often cannabis use. And it's not just cannabis either. It's really, to me, it's any addictive and any kind of resistance to reality. They cut me out of the dream work. So your capacity to dream, not for everybody. I have no idea of all the variables that go into this. But for me and for a lot of people, the dream work has sort of a gateway to it. And you kind of have to be your own version of Yoga Adam to get through that gateway. And maybe if you're in a phase of your life where you can take that very seriously, you can make a lot of progress quickly. A lot of us are not in that situation. And so this is just another kind of soul doubling down on that. And I really appreciate that what you're saying, that I'm trying to make lemonade with that stuff. I'm talking about really dark and negative stuff. I'm talking about cheating in relationships. I'm talking about leaving me for some other guy. I'm talking about getting involved in wacky religious cult ideas and giving up on morality. I'm talking about corporate malfeasance and power struggles. I'm talking about death and grieving. I'm talking about turning that into something positive, to recognize a villain and to fight against it, to go to the battlefield and stand and say, I'm trying to work with you and learn how to stop this from happening, how to engineer outcomes in a way where opening your heart doesn't kill you. or wound you or maim you or send you to the poorhouse or the insane asylum. I mean, what is more fundamental to the work that we're doing in Integral besides that? What matters more than that? So I see a light shining out there in the darkness, and I'm shining it back to you, Zemi M. This is positive in nature. This is healing and growth and love and waking up. That's what we're doing. The negative things that are happening to us, sometimes they're just circumstantial. Sometimes they're coincidences. Sometimes they should just be acknowledged as the conditions and matters of probability. But for me, for some reason, the synchronicity is undeniable. These are teachers. I just can barely handle the thing that's happening to me at all these moments. And that's been my teacher. That it's pain that propels me to take my life seriously as a comedian, joker, goofball, but to take it seriously in the sense of like, if I don't support what I'm doing, if I'm not a fan of what I'm doing, if I can't believe in myself and what I'm doing, well, I can sit on a couch and play Grand Theft Auto and smoke weed and eat potato chips. That's a way to live your life, and that's fine. I have no problem with that at all. At least you're not hurting anybody, right? But I can also do more, and I yearn to do more. And I feel that my soul is energized and activated, and the gateways open up when I'm doing the thing that I believe I ought to do with my life, which is this. Julian9898 says, I just want to say I appreciate the vulnerability you put into this episode. I always look forward to your insights and your commentary. You're producing something for which Yoga Adam could be proud. So that's doubling down on that notion, and I really appreciate that. That's kind of you. That's very kind of you. Yoga Adam is with me. Yoga Adam is a part of me. It's not fully embraced at the moment. And yes, I'm trying to be more and more vulnerable. I've cried a few times, and I like doing that. I like sharing that with you. I like, if this is disagreeable, I apologize, but I like being a male voice, predominantly a gender fluid male, that can be real with you about my heart and what I feel. Even in my own personal relationships, because that should be relatable to you. You should have a heart and you should feel things. And I encourage you to love freely and without fear. Love and find the ones that shine that back, that reflect that back, that you can trust. That's what we're doing. That's what we're trying to do. This is about love. It's cheesy, I know, but it's about love. This is a story. This is a love story too. All the work I've done is for something. It's for me to be able to sit here and have the courage to open up to you about things that aren't as pretty and simple and funny and professional. To say that, let's not bullshit each other. We're struggling emotionally. We're struggling with cognitive dissonance. Let's not fake it this time. Let's be real as we go about this, that we're growing, that we're cleaning up, that we have shadow, that we have addictions, that we have things that we're not so sure about. That's who I am here. That's who I'm being. And if I figure everything out, I won't do it this way anymore. But I have a lot of things figured out, and I want to share it with you. I know that's just 3 comments out of all the comments I get that might be different from that, but I'm just trying to say some people are liking the vulnerability and some people are liking the authenticity and are not disappointed that a lot of this is driven by a love story and by loss and grief, that truly that Unthink Me arrives in a coffin. And the person who shows up at your door is a person with a limp and a person who is going through a process of putting together shattered pieces. And a lot of you, I know, a lot of you relate to that and prefer that to me pretending like I have everything totally together and I'm all ready to bombard you with the ultimate answers to the questions of life, the universe, and everything. That's not what second tier is. Second tier is just to get organized. It's just to know where all of these sentiments and notions and feelings and thoughts reside and where they come from and what generates them and to what extent they're a replication of a pattern, a code, as opposed to an authentic expression of a genuine soul. So we're moving more and more in that direction, but there's a lot of work to go to get, our roots firmly established in first tier, and to descend and to bring about health in the first tier, but also to make our mainstay, our main personality, what we express into the world, what we think, feel, and do, would be second tier in nature at least. And I commend that. I appreciate you who are taking the time to do that and who are into this.